I just want to invest in people that really want to be the best that they can be.
Hello, everyone. It's Todd Scrima and Robyn, LaVassaur, and Jim Reed here to do a Be Your Best podcast for branch managers. This one's called Focus Forward. Focus Forward. Oh my gosh, there's so much to talk about this. This is actually Jim's brainchild. You know, we all have things that we're learning. Like I think in this market, how it translates to me is all the bad market really does is show you what you need to get better at. And so I think of things like, wow, I was pretty entitled. I'll admit it. I don't feel that way today, but I felt pretty entitled. Um, Focusing forward, like, Jimmy's going to talk about this. Hey, I found out I got to get a lot better at sales skills. Like here I am coaching sales for 25 years, and I'm like, nope, you're like a 7 out of 10. You need to become a 10 to get through all this, and to get back to numbers that I want, I got to go to a 10. So I had to hire some new coaches. I had to read some books. I was up at 5 o'clock this morning reading a new business book because I was so into it. Like I'm really coachable right now, extremely coachable. Yes, I am like a sponge, right? So Jimmy, give us an overview of Focus Forward because you coach a lot of people, and I totally agree with your message. But I forgot how you said it.
Okay. Well, I just think that the past doesn't matter, right? I think the thing that we always say on this podcast is people who live in the past are depressed, right? People who live in the future are stressed. And if you're talking about how many yards you rushed for in high school, you're probably not that successful right now. That's just the truth, right? So I think that we all rushed for a bunch of yards in high school over the last 2 years, and we got to stop talking about it. And what I said on the branch manager one was, you know, if you're a loan officer or a branch manager, and your last 3 months is your average production right now, right? So if you did 2 and then 4 and then 1, that's 7, and 7 divided by 3 is like 2 1/3. That's where you're at. And you just got to accept it and be there. Like accept it's the wrong word, but you got to just know that's where we're at and focus forward. And so the assignment that I give to everybody, and I would give it to anybody listening, I would give it to Robyn, I would give it to anybody in any business, is to do both right now over the next week, a 1-year and a 5-year vision. Okay, a 1-year and a 5-year vision. So a lot of loan officers had loan partners or loan officer assistants. Maybe they had 2, maybe they had 3 during their peaks. And now maybe they are sharing 1, or they have none, or they're sharing 2. And it's no fun, Todd. I'm just telling you right now, it's no fun. Can you imagine me and you sharing an executive assistant?
Hard.
It's just not a good time. And so what I want to work on for people is, how do I get to my next step? Where am I at in 1 year? So what's your, the way I break it down is, how many leads do you need a month? How many pre-approvals do you need a month? How many closings do you need a month? And where will they come from? And what will you do to get the business? So you actually we kind of developed this together out of a class, and I think it was back in my referral only days, bro. And I'm going to try and share it, and I'm not that fancy, and we're going to see what happens. Forgive my voice. It feels like I was at a rock and roll show. Oh my goodness. Boom. Is that it? Hold on. Wait for it. Oh, no.
You talking about the team flow chart?
Yeah.
That's an ingenious little tool.
Well, you guys can't see it, right?
Mm-mm.
I don't think it's going to enable me to share it, but
I never tried to share something on this, so I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, so it's okay. So listen, there's 3 parts to your vision, right? So the first is there's marketing, operations, and your results. Marketing, operations, and your results. So in your vision, right, I need to know where you're getting your business. And we prefer, how many pillars, Robyn, do people get business from in our industry?
A minimum 3, ideally 4.
Yeah, I like 3. 3 is easy for a normal loan officer.
Yep.
So 1 is your database, 1 is your realtors, and then 1 could be builders or business people, right? And what are you going to do in a written plan to mail, to call, and to visit each one of those pillars, right? Like what we teach in the database is Mail to them once a month, an evidence of success postcard. Call them, call 15 past clients a week and do an annual review. Call them twice a year and invite them to a client appreciation party. One of them could be pictures with Santa, and one of them could be at a theater, a matinee. But know what you're going to do for each one. Know what your goal is for leads and your results. 10 leads a month from your database, close 2 loans from it. 25 leads a month from realtors, close 5 loans from it, right? 10 leads a month from business people, close 1 or 2 loans from it. And then just start to work it and plug it into your calendar so that you can focus forward. I'm so tired of hearing anybody talk about anything that happened in the past. And so that gets you moving, right? But the secret is to do the 5-year vision. So, Robyn, what's your 5-year vision look like? Like, what are you building in your branch in the next 5 years? Where are you guys headed? Give me some ideas. How many loan officers will you have? How many deals will you be closing? Because here's the problem before you answer. If I had all my loan officers in a room, Todd, and I said, hey, check this out. We're no longer answering the phone for realtors. It doesn't really work. We're going to buy all our leads. We're going to go consumer direct. I know we've never done it before, but I promise me with your careers and your family, it's going to work out. Are they going to follow me? They're not, right? But that's what everybody's doing right now. They don't have a vision, so no one's willing to follow them. And it's dangerous. It is super dangerous. And the people you lose when you don't have a vision are the good employees.
Yes.
The not so hot ones stick around.
Yeah.
Right? So what like, give me something you're working on 5 years from now, Robyn.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a big fan of having a bit of a line at the door, but we've been really blessed to be number one in our county and our branch. So I feel like we're really clear on the vision, kind of being the top of the heap. But the truth is, I'm looking for somebody to emerge as kind of the leader, if you will, of our branch. I say this boldly, and so that I can step away and do 100%, EVP of sales. So that's one of my visions, is that I grow and continue to observe a leader that steps in and takes over.
So check this out. What you said was so powerful, right? So why have I worked for Todd for 27 years?
Because you always have a place to grow.
Thank you. He was always growing so much that I could always do something else, right? So your vision gives people who work for you an opportunity to step up and run that branch someday.
Yes.
So they're going to stick around, and they're going to work hard, and they're going to be with you. And so I don't care if you're a loan officer who's doing 2 or 3 and you're working on getting to 8. You want the good processor to work on your loans? You want the good loan partner assistant to support you? Show them your vision that you're going to 8.
Yes.
While the rest of them don't show them nothing.
Yes.
And see whose files they grab first.
Yeah, well, people want to work under growers. I think you bring up a really good point, Jimmy. And one thing that I just want to add to it is, I want you to think for a minute, like all of us, what we would want as an originator in somebody else. Would you want to show up to a dark closed office? Do you want to show up to somebody who's in a bad mood, or the door's closed every day, or they're worried about who knows what it is, but only checking in on things that make them money versus thinking about you. My point is, if you made a list of the things that you would be inspired by, you'd want to please somebody, if you will. I know you and we work for Todd Scrima. It matters to you and I if Todd Scrima is happy with us, right? It matters. It's a daily thing. But I think that one of the things that I see in leadership in general is, would you work for you? Check your ego for a minute, and would you work for you? Because there are moments and days that I have to check myself and say, Robyn, did you behave today in a way that said you would want to work for you? And did you show up? Were you consistent? Were you energized? Were you impactful? How did you play the game today? What did you do for your people instead of seeing what they did for you? And I think a lot of people have gotten very lost in this scarcity mindset right now. Leaders that are looking for what can you do for me because I'm lacking, right? That scarcity mindset, go get me more loans, go do this for me. And people aren't realizing what they're really playing for. And that is a big issue right now. I see the same thing in a lineup of loan officers. If a realtor had to choose out of a lineup, why would they choose you? Why?
Well, check this out. Like, as I say this, tell me how crazy it sounds, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to leave my branch and move to Puerto Rico. And I'm going to run my branch and manage my loan reps from Puerto Rico and live there for the next 15 years and then maybe retire. When I say that out loud, does that sound crazy to you?
Sounds crazy.
But people thought it could happen over the last few years.
Yep.
And that's them thinking of themselves.
You're
and
exactly
not the
right.
people.
Yep.
Right? This example of exactly what you're saying. Like, listen, doing loans is not easy.
Nope.
Doing a loan and processing it, it's not that hard. But going out and finding loans, that is not easy. And it takes a community of people that go to work every day and have a vision and have tactics and help each other get better. I mean, that's what we do at Summit. That's what we work on in Next Level Coaching. And I just see so much opportunity right now for loan reps. And I really
100%.
think, Todd, that the opportunity is over. Like, it's January 18th, 2023. The next 6 to 9 weeks, there's so much opportunity, okay? Like, if you haven't gotten busy yet, it is the time to get highly active and highly visible, because March 15th, write it down, the phone's going to start ringing for the realtors again. And they're going to be less accessible, and they're going to be less available, and they're going to be less open to you helping them. So if I can give you anything to leave the call with, it's you got 6 to 9 weeks to make it.
Yep, totally agree. In short terms, when you're in an industry that's down 60% year over year, that means 60% of people got to get out, and sometimes that's some of that's already done, some of that's going to be done by June, and you got to choose what it is that I was having this conversation with a loan rep this weekend, and I said, "Do you love it?" Like, I asked myself that question. People are like, "How come you're still doing this? Like, going through all this stuff?" I said, "Like, I still love it. Like, it's weird. Maybe I'm psychotic, but I do thoroughly enjoy it. And I look at this market as a fun challenge.
Okay.
And sometimes that's hard to say because I don't always feel that way in the moment. But in general, day in, day out, I do. Let me leave you with one idea, because we like to keep these short and to the point. I've got one idea that can really help branch managers, and I'll just quickly go over this and then offer something up to you if you want to view it. We've had a lot of success training new loan officers into the business. Both Jim and Robyn, a large part of their branches, Robyn's branch did $1 billion last year, just shy of $1 billion, and 75% of her loan officers came from this program. The problem is that a lot of them don't make it. So we created this online university called Loan Officer University, and we teach new people into the business. They pay for it, and we teach them how to become loan officers. And it just started in January, where we started this new process. I'm telling you, it's fun as hell. Like, I'm personally coaching them 1 hour a week, and then there's a bunch of stuff online that they do every day. It's fun, and it allows us, we just started running ads for bilingual loan officers, blowing up, which we all know as branch managers, if you can get some bilinguals in there, get into some different communities that are still very old school, man, that's a huge leg up for a new loan officer. So if you want information on Loan Officer University, I'm happy to send it to you. Shoot me an email. My email is tscrima, so tscrima @summitfunding.net. I will send you a free video on how all that works so that maybe you can get involved with that. But if you're a branch manager and you could get an army of people to be trained for you and then just plug them into your branch when they're fully trained, there's still a lot to learn. I'm not saying there's not, but they've got a super strong foundation. That's money. Money.
And
We're going to interview, just to give you a feel, we're interviewing this month 172 people that want to be in that program. That's crazy. Robyn, what are you going to finish with?
Well,
they're paying for it.
And they're paying
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
they're paying for it, so they're happy to learn, right? Instead of feeling like your program's not good enough,
Yes.
which is what the guy, yeah.
Well, I will tell you,
We'll get you
I
fired up.
just as a plug, just stating the obvious here, Jimmy and I were both trained in sales and in ultimately, I knew loans before I came to Summit because I had worked elsewhere, but ultimately by you, Todd. So the fact that I mean, you are delivering the information, you are adding value back, you are constantly looking for things. You know, this podcast is about branch managers facing forward. Like, ask yourself, what value are you adding to your people? Are you led by people that are adding value to you so that all of us can keep growing despite this market? Because when you can do that, you know, when I got in this industry, the owner of the company, I got lucky. I got a year of coaching, sales training with Todd Scrima, and that changed the trajectory of my life. Like, when you are in a company where you have a boots on the ground owner, when you yourself are running a branch and signing up for leadership and you're a boots on the ground and you love it the way that Todd just said he loved it, I'll tell you what, that's contagious. That's what'll help you grow and survive whatever market comes at you in the future.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Jim and Robyn were both, Jim, he and I were college roommates, and then he got in the business and did great. Robyn knew loans but didn't know sales. And I was a MLA, Mortgage Loan Apprentice. I was in that program. I was one of 10 people hired by Jim Cafrini at Sierra Pacific Mortgage, still a mentor of mine, still a great man. And he got me into this business. Now, just so you know, I was one of 2 that made it. 2 out of, well, he hired more than 10, but when I started, it was 10. So I came from that same program. So I think sometimes you got to look at, well, I came from that program. Robyn came from a similar program. Jim came from that program. Like, let's just do that, right? So if you want information on that, email me at tscreama@summitfunding.net. Happy to send you the video that fully explains all that. And God bless all you guys. Keep working hard and focus forward. Thanks, guys. Have a great month.
Do some loans.